Alright, hello again. I went to a farewell party the other night, because today is our last day in the Kaikan, that sucks. I made a lot of good friends, but, I'll be back here at some point in time, which isn't that bad. The farewell party, everybody did a little speech, we went around, got some food, and then they pulled out all the language partners drew out their language partner's face, and I have my Chris number 2. Now, the reason I love it, well, obviously, but also I'm wearing an English T-shirt in my picture of me. I'm even Chris number 2 is peace. It looks like. So, how about that, huh? Pretty excited. It's going up on my wall when I get to the next place that I'm going to be staying at. Alright, so, that was fun, and then everybody went out to a big izakaya and, I don't know, had some sake and food. It was pretty tasty. The other night I went to this yakiniku, and a yakiniku is a place where you just order meat, and then it comes to you, and there's like a tiny little grill, and you cook it. A lot of times when you order meat in Japanese restaurants, you have to cook it yourself, and that seems like a stupid system until you realize that you can have the meat however perfect you want it, and it's just perfect. So, because I remember a couple years ago watching Lost in Translation with Bill Murray and just not understanding it, and I thought that was just because there's a scene where they go to a restaurant and they have to cook their own meat, and I didn't understand, and I was just like, well, that's just something crazy that you guys found in Japan, that's just a weird thing, but that's all over the place, man. So I went to this yakiniku, and I had this dish, and one of the dishes that came out was sort of strings of beef, almost. Yeah, strings of beef, basically, with an egg yolk on top of it. And then you scramble it up so that it's just raw meat soaked in raw egg, and you just eat it. You don't cook it. I didn't cook it. You just eat it, and it's delightful, and it's tasty, and I'm still I'm sitting now, but I'm still sitting. I'm still speaking, basically, but, it was really tasty. So, try that in the States, if you can get away with it, which you can't. Farewell party. So, I want to talk about Japanese people, and even though there's all these formalities in their system of society, they don't mess around when they're, some things they don't mess around with. For example, in Japan, you never don't recycle, you always recycle, and they will just pick through your garbage to separate your bottles from your burnable garbage from your non-burnable garbage, and it really kind of freaked me out a little bit that they were just kind of sorting through people's stuff right in front of you. The other thing that's kind of weird is that they're this much less concerned than the States with just getting in people's business. They'll ask you personal questions, and it's just not a problem for them. Just where are you going? And you'd be like, oh, I'm just going down the hallway. All right. But I mean, not because they're trying to get in your business, because they don't trust you. Just kind of curious, I guess. Just kind of looking out for you. You have to experience it to really understand what I'm talking about, I guess. And another question that gets asked is a lot of my friends, every time they meet a Japanese girl, second question, sometimes the first question out of this girl's mouth is do you have a girlfriend? And it's just no. And they're not shy about being pleased about stuff. A friend of mine, these girls came up and approached him, and they're just do you have a girlfriend? And he's just nah. And then they right in front of him, they're just and then they just start talking to themselves as if we don't understand Japanese, oh, kakui, kawaii, kakui, and then just talking about how attractive they think he is, but he's right there, and he's just I speak Japanese, right? And then they're just your Japanese is so good, and he's just no, you're just dumb. So I don't know, that's kind of interesting. So I got a request to talk about fashion for a minute, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. Japanese fashion it's not too off from American fashion, except that what would fly as homosexual in America flies as heterosexual here in Japan. I saw a guy walking the other day with shorts that came above his knee, and they were pink, and they were faded in the front and back, and he had a girlfriend walking with him, and like that was totally just kosher to do. You know, you can buy just like pink jeans. Tighter clothing is okay. You know, the other shirt I had is like a V-neck almost, and that's totally flies here in Japan. So you know, a little more feminine. Everything has English written on it, which is interesting. It's actually kind of hard to find a shirt that just has like Japanese stuff written on it. Even though the English is always hard to understand and convoluted and doesn't make sense. I don't know if I mentioned this, but I saw an old woman the other day walking that had a shirt that said, "I lost my virginity in Orange County." And, you know, they don't know what it means, but it's just trendy. And a big trend that I see here is a Japanese interpretation of California beach fashion, where, like, you know, so the guys will walk around and they all have ridiculous fake tans, so they look just like really brown, and then they have, you know, their hair dyed kind of blondish, and then it's, you know, this ridiculous thing, and then they have on, usually, you know, like they've got, you know, their jeans and their t-shirt, and then what's really popular is like a plaid button-down, bright-colored shirt, like pink or something, wrinkly, with patches on it that are random English things, you know, just like Joe's Crab Shack and tires or something, and you know, it'll just be like all these patches, and it's really unattractive, actually, but it's really popular because that's, you know, their idea of what California beach fashion is. It's just like, you know, a button-down wrinkly shirt with random English patches written on it. So yeah, I mean, like, that's what I see a lot of. Aside from that, it's, you know, what you'd expect if you watch any video of Japan, you know, it's that kind of clothes. So, you know, I hope that did it for you. But if you guys ever want to know anything else, let me know. That's it. I miss you guys back home, and I'm gonna start packing.